Hey, good morning, good morning. It's so great to be here with you this beautiful morning in August. I am Katya Janover. I am very excited to be joining you all today. If you could please rise in mind, body, or spirit in singing the first verse of Blue Boat Home. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. You may be seated.
Thank you all. Don't worry, we will sing the other verses later on in the service. I am Reverend AJ. I use he and him pronouns. I'm one of the ministers that serves this congregation. Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Rochester, where our mission is, through spiritual connection in community, we listen deeply to others and ourselves, we open to wonder and transformation, and we serve together with love and humility. If you are new or new-ish here, special welcome to you, and please stop by our welcome desk down in the lobby if you haven't already to get to know us a little better, and we can get you plugged into things around here. And keep an eye out for the Inquirer series happening during Connections after the service. It's a little different this Sunday, which I'll explain at the end of the service, so no need to remember anything at the moment. If you are here because you are going through a hard time, or you are worried about somebody else who is, please reach out. We have our lay pastoral care associate team. We have someone, I'm not seeing who they are at the moment. Oh, yes, Kathy there in the back with a beige and rainbow stole. You can connect with her during the service if needed, or afterwards, or connect anytime during the week so we can offer support and a listening ear. One quick announcement is that we are in the process of selling some at cost for not a profit piece, but we're selling some t-shirts with our church logo and with the UUA's campaign Side with Love. So Lucas can show off. We've got Side with Love on the front in this bold yellow, and First Unitarian Church of Rochester. And this is coming out of our This Is What Democracy Looks Like group, folks who've been organizing in defense of our democracy and organizing folks to go and attend a lot of the protests and actions that have been going on. So this is a way that we can all show up in the same color in large numbers and be able to identify each other at protests and see, make that visual impact. So we're very excited about those. There's a link in the newsletter. It will look like you're registering for an event, but the event you are registering for is purchasing a shirt. Or folks in the next couple of weeks will be in the lobby tables downstairs to help you order the shirt, get that going. So glad everyone is here because it takes all of us together to make community, to make worship happen. This morning we're excited to welcome our leaders from our 20s and 30s group, our young adult group, to lead worship together. So we've got Ray and Ian and Allison, Haven and Lauren. We've got Gabe and Dodie helping out with the AV and sound. We've got Katya and Joe bringing us music, leading us in music. Unfortunately, Pablo is out sick with COVID, so we are sending him healing mercies and very grateful to have Katya and Joe with us. And the young adults are hosting an ice cream formal this afternoon at 4 p.m. So please stop by and say hi and have some intergenerational time together, enjoying some ice cream in thankfully a cooler day of the summer. Actually, is it? I think it's getting warmer again. It's hard to keep track. Join us for that ice cream formal in this afternoon. But this morning, we have worship. So please center yourself for worship in whatever way is best for you, perhaps putting your feet on the ground, taking a breath. We acknowledge with respect the Seneca Nation, keepers of the Western Door, and part of the Haudenosaunee people on whose ancestral and contemporary lands First Unitarian now stands. I'm going to invite up Haven to light our chalice as we share in the unison words. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift.
All right, we are going to need your help with this one because we're going to do this in parts. Are we up for the challenge? Yeah, we are. Okay, so we're going to sing it all together once. Okay, this is gathered here. And I'm going to have everyone on this side. You're going to sing with me, okay? What a joy, yes. And then on this side, you're going to sing with Joe here. Joe is not mic'd, so loud and proud. Also a joy, complete joy. Yes, we're married, just so you know, FYI. Okay, everybody stand in mind, body, or spirit in singing Gathered Here. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit, draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit, draw near. One more time. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit, draw near. Wow, beautiful. Everyone join chorus.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Lauren Ford. I use she, her pronouns. So I bought my first tarot deck about 10 years ago. And while I personally don't use tarot to do readings for other people or to do any sort of like fortune telling, for me it's been a really useful tool to help understand myself and my own journey better. So in the Rider-Waite Tarot, the first card in the Major Arcana deck is the Fool card, and it's one of my favorite cards. So the Fool is known for, speak a little louder, okay. Back this way. Okay, appreciate your patience, okay. So in the Rider-Waite Tarot, the first card in the deck is called the Fool card, and it's one of my favorite cards. And the Fool is known for taking great leaps of faith. In the card, the figure is walking towards an edge of the cliff very carelessly. Not even looking to see where he's going. And still can't hear me? Okay. So the Fool takes great leaps of faith into the unknown. And in the card, the figure is walking towards the edge of the cliff, not even looking to see where he's going. Okay. And the Fool represents the beginning of the hero's journey. So in my own transformative journey, the beginning began more as an unexpected push than a leap, but sometimes that's how life goes, and it unfolded as the rest of the traditional hero's journey. So at the beginning of the tarot, the Fool has a childlike sense of wonder and openness and courage. The Fool is the hero, the chosen one, like our theme this morning. And they're at the beginning of their adventure, at the beginning of the journey. They go from the mundane and ordinary world and they leap into the unknown. And in the unknown, that's where they find challenges, they find friends, they find mentors, they find opportunities for growth. They struggle and they try and they fail. And in the end, they overcome against all odds. And the reward for their journey and their adventure, they go through transformation and enlightenment. and a return home, so to speak. And so at the end of the major arcana is the world card, signifying the end of their journey. And isn't that why we come to church? To find fellow heroes along the way on their journeys, and other folks who share a sense of openness and wonder and courage to take great leaps of faith. And in the spirit of this wonder and taking great leaps of faith and courage, I would like to invite you all to participate in a primal roar with me in a moment. And so if you aren't familiar with the practice in catharsis, it's where you yell or shout at the top of your lungs. You can make whatever noise that you would like. And as you do, that you bring forward all that rests in your heart, whatever emotion that you're bringing with you here today. So if it's joy or celebration, feeling anger or frustration, sadness or grief, whatever is resting on your heart and needs to be expressed. Okay? So, like I said, you can make any noise that you would like or say any words. I will turn off my mic and count us down so I don't blow out anybody's eardrums, okay? So on the count of 3, all right? 3, 2, 1. Well done. If anyone was asleep, I think they're awake now. Okay. So thank you for everyone who participated. For the next part of the service, I would like to invite the children, so those young and young at heart, to come on down for the story for all ages. Friends. Okay. All right, well, good morning, everyone. Okay. So this morning, the story that I'm going to tell is the story of Achilles, and it's adapted from a book called The Iliad, written by Homer. And I'd like to thank Haven for helping do some of the legwork to prepare the story for us today. Okay? So, a long time ago, there was a war between two groups, the Greeks and the Trojans. And the Trojans, they had taken a woman named Helen, who was known as one of the most beautiful women in all of Greece. So beautiful, in fact, that they said that she was blessed by the goddess Aphrodite herself. So the many leaders of the Greeks banded together to try and bring Helen back, and two of which they were named Agamemnon and Achilles. Now, Achilles, he was the son of a sea goddess named Thetis, and he was raised by a wise centaur who taught him all the skills that he would need to know to become one of the greatest leaders and warriors the Greeks had ever seen. And Agamemnon, he was a legendary king and also a great warrior himself. So Achilles, Agamemnon, the Greeks all sailed together across the sea to Troy in order to rescue Helen. But on the way there, Agamemnon accidentally insulted Achilles. Now, both Achilles and Agamemnon, they had a lot of pride and were a bit stubborn. So this insult ended up being a pretty big problem. So when the Greeks landed their boats at Troy, Achilles had changed his mind. He did not want to help the Greeks anymore. Agamemnon had hurt his feelings. He didn't want to fight. And so, without Achilles' help, the Greeks greatly struggled in their battle against the Trojans. So, that's when a man named Patroclus comes into the story. Now, Patroclus was Achilles' partner, and he knew Achilles pretty well. And he also knew that the Trojans were really scared of Achilles, because he had a big reputation for being a pretty fearsome warrior. So, Patroclus thought that if the Trojans just saw Achilles on the battlefield, that they would just give up and the battle would be over. So, trying to help the Greeks, Patroclus put on Achilles' clothes to disguise himself, to fool the Trojans into thinking he was Achilles. But he made a mistake. The Trojans saw through the disguise, and this put Patroclus' life in great danger. Now, Achilles loved his partner Patroclus, and seeing his partner in trouble, Achilles was conflicted. He still felt angry at Agamemnon for insulting him and hurting his feelings. But he also felt very sad and worried about Patroclus. So he had some big feelings and he needed to talk to someone about them. Who do you guys talk to when you have big feelings? Anyone that you talk to? No? No? So Achilles, he needed to talk to somebody. So he decided he would talk to his mother. Like we said before, his mother was a sea goddess. So he went down to the beach and called out to his mother and asked for her advice. He didn't know what to do. And so Thetis didn't tell him really what to do, but she told him that it was his choice. She asked him what his values were and what was most important to him. She asked him if his friends and Patroclus and the people he loved were most important to him, or if his hurt feelings and his pride and ego were more important. Okay? And she asked him, was he really a great warrior and leader, or someone that would stand by and do nothing when people needed him? So Thetis also gave Achilles a beautiful shield that depicted all different walks of life from the people in Greece. So farmers farming the fields, men taming bulls, kings in their kingdoms, and the different stories of the gods and goddesses all carved into it. So Achilles took the shield and his mother's wisdom and advice, and he finally made up his mind. And he did decide to swallow his pride. He joined the Greeks on the battlefield. And so with the Greeks, with Achilles by their side, felt brave, and they were able to triumph in their battle against the Trojans. And so with this support, they were able to save Helen, and after they rescued Helen, they finally sailed back across the sea and all the way to Greece. So if the congregation would join me in sending the children out to their classes, thank you so much for coming up this morning.
We bless you on your journey through, from sheltering arms to the wide sky blue, in your joyful jumps and your sad times too. You bless us by being you.
Hello, I'm Haven. I use all pronouns. And I'm about to read you a prayer adapted from two. The Courage to Continue the Journey by Lynn Cox, and To Right the Wrongs of Our Kin by Leslie Takahashi. So let's take a breath for a little moment of silence. Spirit of life and love, known by many names and yet fully known by none, we give thanks for this time and this place of renewal. We give thanks for the ability to begin again after the disaster, after the tragedy, after the loss, after meeting the challenge set before us. Grant us this courage to continue on the journey, the courage to speak up for the well-being of others and ourselves and the planet. May we forgive each other when our courage falls short, and may we try again. Grant us hearts to love boldly, to embody our faith and our values in living words and deeds. May our hearts open to embrace humility, grace, and reconciliation. Grant us the ability to learn and grow, to let the spirit of love and truth work its transformation upon us and within us. Grant us the spirit of hospitality, the willingness to sustain a fit dwelling place for the holy that resides in all beings. Grant us a sense of being at peace in the world, even as we are in motion. Let us cultivate together the strength to welcome every kind of gift and all manner of ways to be on the journey together. To this, we add the gratitude for the human ability to take action to right the wrongs of our kin. If you are the force of love, be loving to these dear ones who would rid the world of hatred and greed. If you are the force of possibility, seed opportunity for those who believe they are forgotten. If you are a larger freedom, break the chains of oppression and ignorance. in which so many lives are bound. If you are the power of healing, please bring comfort to the little ones who are imprisoned away from their sources of comfort and care. Whatever you are, any force of the more that allows us to reach beyond this reality to a more inclusive and loving presence, give energy to these precious ones who would make a difference. And may their actions inspire all of us to do whatever it is in our power to make known that we will not allow our neighbors to be treated as less than human. We enter now into ritual to bring what is on our hearts and lay it on the altar of community and spirit. Honoring the complexities of life, bring to mind whatever grief, growth, or gratitude is alive within you. Online, you're invited to share in the chat, and here in the sanctuary, you're invited to forward to light a candle. If you would like an usher to bring a candle to you, raise your hand. May we now share in this ritual of community care and witness to one another's hearts. All that we hold in our hearts for ourselves, for each other, and for the world is held in this community and by the larger love that holds us all, always. Amen, and blessed be.
Thank you, Joe. My name is Allison Hess, she, her, hers pronouns. All that our church is and all that our church does is made possible by the time, talent, and treasure that we give to our shared mission. Members and friends support this congregation financially through recurring giving, and on Sundays, we also give through our shared collection. As part of the spiritual practice of generosity, 50 cents of every dollar given now to our offering will go to the Young Adult Revival Network, or YARN. YARN is a global effort to support, develop, and grow Unitarian Universalist young adult initiatives, providing connection to younger UUs regardless of geographical boundaries. Using Church Center is the easiest way to give, but if you aren't set up with the app yet, you can also give by texting GIVE, G-I-V-E, and the amount you would like to give to the number that is hopefully shown on the screen, or in the offering baskets that will now be passed around. Our offertory song this morning, Jackboot Jump, is a passionate call to resist oppressive power. Hosier uses the jackboot, a symbol of harsh authority, to remind us not to sit by silently, but to act with compassion and care. The song calls us to protect justice, dignity, and community, echoing our commitment to listen, open, and serve together. In the spirit of abundance and generosity, the offering will now be given and humbly received.
That song just makes me want to get up and dance. One step of the hero's journey is meeting the mentor, and I'd like to tell you about one of my mentors, Ares, the god of war. When I say his name, you probably think of a hyper-masculine man, a soldier or the police, someone that murders senselessly. You might think of him as a warmonger for the likes of Trump, instigator, agitator. But let me tell you of war-torn Ares, who pushes back when the jackboot would jump down on his neck. Ares who stands beside Greta Thunberg, urging her to be brave as she was kidnapped by Israeli forces. He strengthened the arm of the person that threw the first brick at the Stonewall riots. I often remember all those famous photos of women facing off against riot police and can't help but see the embodiment of Ares, steadfast and defiant. Despite how small we feel, we are alive, we have agency, and when outrage at injustice fills our hearts, he says, do something. In my Hellenic polytheist theology, the gods are vast forces of nature, and all things, myself included, are part of that nature. When there's injustice, there are some who would let God sort it out, letting the existence of the divine absolve them of the responsibility for action. But for me, that is not so. When I pray for something, I put that energy out into in the metaphysical sense, but as an instrument of the divine, I must also put out that energy through the physical world too. A prayer for justice is like a handshake with them. May Zeus bring an end to fascist kings, and I will be one of his mouthpieces to do so. My generation grew up on fantasy stories that relied heavily on the chosen one trope. And it brings me to wonder how anyone could ever be surprised that people my age are so politically conscious when we've been told our whole childhoods that one regular person can be the start of great change. Reading or watching The Lord of the Rings, The Hunger Games, Sailor Moon, what I see is someone my age who experiences injustice in their world, and despite their humble beginnings, or despite how small in the vast world they feel, says, that's not right, and I'm gonna do something about it. We've been taught from the moment we are born that the right thing to do is stand up, face it, and defeat it with the power of friendship. And I can think of nothing more you than that. There are many notions and ideas that come to mind when someone says justice. The first is what some people might call justice, punitive justice, the punishment of wrongdoing or enforcing consequences. This is not actually justice. It's reactionary. And in truth, the real justice is what comes before someone does something we deem wrong. I recognize in myself that desire to punish wrongdoings with more violence, especially when I see politicians destroying Earth or kidnapping my neighbors or taking away my rights. A small part of me wants to give in to that reaction to punish in the name of some justice. And I have to remind myself that that isn't real justice. That is emotion, something that is okay to feel, but not steady enough to base a foundation on. Instead, when I see people that I disagree with, I remind myself that it is connection that breaks through harm, the power of friendship. Even someone who would hurt me has the same needs as I, the same fears as I, is made of the same molecules as I. In the stories of chosen ones, it isn't necessarily in any big war that they are a part of that solves issues, but the kindness they show others. Being the chosen one can easily turn into a case where the entire burden is on one person's back, where they must bear the entire responsibility of creating a better future. They and they alone must fight evil because they were chosen. And that idea is especially dangerous in an environment with rampant hyper-individualism. But in all those fantasy stories, the chosen one is not actually alone. It's not just Frodo of the Ring, it's a fellowship. It's not just Steven Universe, it's Connie, Garnet, Pearl, Amethyst, Greg, Lapis, Peridot, Bismuth, and you get the point. The chosen one is chosen because they are a part of a community that recognizes their potential, a community that lends its life and supports them to get them where they need to go. When you set yourself into the stonework, you are no longer one stone. You become part of a wall, a building, a foundation for something greater. You may be small, and yet you are a chosen one, set into the stonework of all things.
Good morning. My name is Ian Phillips, and I use he, him pronouns. And I'm always cautious around mics because I have a naturally loud speaking voice. A few weeks ago, our little 20s and 30s group, we had a meeting where we were talking about what justice means to us. And as usual, I had a lot to say. I always do, but in particular on the subject of justice, it's a topic very near and dear to my heart. Those of you who know me, if you know one thing about me, it's probably that I'm a public defender by trade. So it's fair to say that justice is quite literally my business. But as is often the case when I find myself in a group discussion with other people here, it's when I stopped talking and started listening to what others had to say that something struck me and really stuck with me. Something that I hadn't really seen or understood before, but which over the following weeks would ruminate into something that I think is important. Because when Lauren spoke up and defined justice, she said this, that justice exists at the intersection of truth and love. It can be really easy to be cynical about justice, especially when you're a public defender. In my line of work, the criminal justice system, very rarely do we think about what's true. Even more rarely do we think about love. The criminal justice system is just that. It's a system. It's a process. And we define justice as receiving that process, and then you get your punishment and you go on your horrible, sad way. Incidentally, the same weekend that our 20s and 30s group was talking about our definition of justice, that very same weekend was the opening of my favorite movie of 2025, which is the new Superman movie. folks who know me, if you know a second thing about me, it's probably that I'm a big fan of superheroes. And there's not many superheroes that I like more than Superman. So when that movie opened, I saw it in theaters opening weekend 3 times. And after having that conversation with Lauren about justice being at the intersection of truth and love, I noticed something about Superman and about that movie. Because I noticed that that's really the point of that film, too. I noticed, without spoiling too much, there's a conversation around the midpoint between Superman and Lois Lane about, of all things, punk rock. And in the end, it goes something like this. Lois says, "You trust everyone and think everyone you've ever met is beautiful." And Superman says, "Maybe that's the real punk rock." As I walked out of the movie for the 3rd time, I couldn't help but reflect on that. What it means to be the real punk rock. After all, punk rock is about rebelling against the man, tearing down the system. It's counterculture. At the same time, Lois is saying that Superman values the truth, and that's why he trusts everybody. He values love, and that's why he thinks everyone is beautiful. And Superman says, yeah, of course. It's easy to be cynical. It's easy to be overly skeptical. It's easy to submit to the demands of the system that demands process instead of truth and love. But to assert the value of truth and love anyway, to do justice, real justice anyway, that's the real punk rock. I hope you carry this lesson with you going forward. Be like Superman. Be like the punk rocker. Center justice by centering truth and love. And never, ever let the system or the man get you down. Hell yeah.
Hello, fellow travelers. My name is Ray, and I use they, fair, and they and them pronouns. So I heard you're the chosen one. Isn't that exciting? Amazingly terrifying. Do you want to run and hide? Because I want to run and hide. I miss the comfort of a world I swear I knew. Somewhere kinder and softer. A place where I've never had to fight for the barest of kindness. I swear it was real. At least I thought so. In times like this, it's so easy to believe that hope doesn't exist. And that everything is futile, but that's exactly why you're the chosen one. You're proof hope exists. Doing the next right thing, not because you think it will make the difference that ends all the scary times, but because you just know it's right. And I get it, trust me, the desire to give up is so loud and tempting. We're in the belly of the whale, and we have been for quite some time. We've been beaten down, and we've lost battles. So many I lost count. And somehow, our greatest opposition is ourselves. How do we find the courage to fight another day when we meet constant ridicule and offense at every corner or mirror? So it's so hard to see the light at the end of all of this. What was the point of all of it if we're cursed to fail? Well, I have hope, and it's no small thing that we will make it out. I spoke a few weeks ago about how a seminary told me that I need to be willing to be changed in order to succeed. And while they were just talking about their program, I have to tell you it does apply to all situations. I am sorry to tell you that we can't go back to the world before. I will miss it and mourn it fiercely, but that place just doesn't exist anymore. We have to adapt to the new world and be willing to change it again and again, because what is right and just will evolve with every passing step. What I knew to be right and true 10 years ago makes my skin crawl now, and thank the universe for that development. Nothing leaves this world as it came. Mountains shift, cities grow, and us, we change with it all. We learn and set boundaries, and we scrape our knees, and sometimes things hurt so much we become new versions of ourselves, and it can be so scary to face a different version of you. But there's still the chosen one, perhaps more so, because despite all adversities, they still choose to keep fighting. I was reading this book on the concept of radical hope, an idea that until you have completely given up, and everyone around you also has, your cause has not been lost. They can take anything they want from you, but only you can let them win. It goes beyond just optimism and resilience. It's not just a feeling, but a spiritual practice. And I found peace in that. I took from it that my bravery in all of this can wax and wane, and I don't have to be 100% certain that everything will be okay because I have you. I can carry your fears to the finish line as long as you can carry mine. The fight is not over after every lost battle, because we can come back together, heal our wounds, and still fight for what is right. The big bad evil does not win until they have taken every last shred of hope from our bones. I know it's hard, I know you're hurting, and I know that yesterday is so much easier to think about than tomorrow, especially when you can't control the outcome by yourself. But I know you enough to say that I believe in you. I have hope in you. And I heard somewhere that hope, however frail, is hard to kill. I'm sorry you can't run from this. It's not fair, and I know it. But we were chosen to fight and be the change we need in this world. And I am glad to have you in my corner.
Well, my cup is fuller for sure based on those. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. You may rise in mind, body, or spirit, and we're going to finish up this song because we started it. Let me get. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe and Katja, and thank you again to our 20s and 30s group for leading us and inspiring us this morning. And of course, the epic hero's journey that is church does not end just when our service concludes, our worship service. We have connection. Only a few things going on. Of course, because they gather every Sunday, we have the This Is What Democracy Looks Like group gathering in the lower meeting room in the basement. You can connect with them. We also, for the Inquirers, normally we meet in that room back there, but the Inquirers series today is scheduled to do a building tour with our wonderful church historian, Bill Fugate. Everyone is welcome and joined. We're going to do that here in Gilbert Hall at 11:45. Everyone is welcome. It'll be a multi-generational friendly. It's our big connection program this Sunday. So everyone is welcome here at 11:45 for a building tour to get to know our building a little bit better. And of course, there's, as always, coffee and conversation and places to connect in the lobby and outside in the front patio. So I will hand it back over to our leaders. Oh, yes, and don't forget, I'm being signaled, to join the young adults for the ice cream formal at 4 p.m. this afternoon.
If you could join me and sing the words to extinguish the chalice.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. We leave you with wisdom from one of our many sacred literary sources, J.R.R. Tolkien. And Frodo the Hobbit said unto the wizard Gandalf, I wish it need not have happened in my time. So do I, said Gandalf, and so do all who live to see such times. But it is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. We have indeed been given frightening, challenging times. May each of us be called to respond in the ways we are uniquely capable, supported by one another on our hero's journey that is never undertaken alone. May our decisions in this time lead us toward love, toward courage, and toward justice. May it be so.
Hey, I'm Joe. Thank you. August. Let me check my calendar quick, but what time is it at? I was originally going away this next weekend, but I think I might be in town. Let me check. The 8th, right? I think I'm available, actually. Okay, right here. Hey, my pleasure. So, my name or number or whatever. So, yeah, that's fine, Joe. And my email would be Janover. J-A-N, two J's, J Janover, A-N-O-V-E-R, 1 at Gmail. Is there like a certain theme or? Oh, immigrant equity, okay. Wow, look at that, wow. Gotcha. Wow. Great, yes, I'll look for an email from you for more details. Thank you. Hey, I'm here for it. Thank you so much. Oh, wow, beautiful. Yeah, we actually are in need of a table for it. Yes, you have. Or you have, or are you going to be in this possibly on Friday? I was asked to play this. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess I'll be there now. What's going on? Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I was going to say, we do need some tablecloth. Yeah. 2 days ago. I am now going to be involved with this on Friday. Oh, yes. She asked me to play anything. Sure. Around 7. Right, yeah. For the service. And right here in this room or downstairs? I'll be here Friday for... Right when you walk in the building, right? Yeah, right across the room. Yeah, but I'll be here. Well, very cool. Yeah, thank you. I know it's very short notice, but it's whatever you want to bring. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Right. Thanks so much.
Check, 1, 2, yeah, you should be good here. Would you prefer to be, like, to have a wireless mic? Or, you know, I just, here, if I.
Good point. I can now. Okay, useful. Okay. Set this.
Okay. And then, yeah, you could just leave those pieces up here, I guess.
I'll set it here. I need my papers. Okay.